Welcome back to Dark Corner's Physical Media Reviews. We're looking at a new Blu-ray release of the Chinese Ghost Story Trilogy. A remarkably consistent trio of historical action, supernatural, knockabout rom-com that manages to be thrilling, touching, and as mad as a giant tongue. Or super long earlobes. We have previously covered the first film in our streaming strand, and it remains a gold standard, filled with slapstick action and genuine heart in its human ghost love story. Plus, Wu Ma's Swordsman, who is just a great character. The sequels, and I don't know if this was originally planned or just something they decided when Part 2 did well, take the unusual step of each following one of the main leads, although Joey Wong is in both and I think is the only actor who appears in all three. I can't talk too much about the specific details of the plots for the sequels without ruining the ending of the first film, and we do prefer to keep these spoiler-free, but I don't think the plots are why anyone watches. You watch because where else do you get to see a millennia-old giant centipede that wants to be a dragon? The plot of the second film tackles revolution, monsters, magic, mistaken identities, and even politics. But what matters is that, firstly, the fun and heart of the first film remains intact. And secondly, so do the characters. You can throw all the madness you want at the screen, but it will only work if we care about the characters. And the great secret of this trilogy is that even when people are breathing snakes, it puts characters first. Part 3, which replaces Leslie Cheung's Debt Collector with Tony Leung's Monk, continues in that vein.
Huh?
It is more of a retread of the first film, and probably the least of the trio for that reason, but that doesn't stop it from being fun, funny, sensual, and of course quite mad. Nice enough box, covering all the main characters, one way and another. So you get this nice steel box interior, but you know, it is an interior. It just lives inside the normal card box. These little hardback books from Imprint, I am learning more and more that you get very little once you're inside them. It's always interesting stuff, don't get me wrong, but you don't get a lot of it. It looks like a pretty substantial book, but so much of it is pictures. This is actually a longer article than most, but it soon gives way to mostly being just a photo gallery that has been fleshed out with a bit of detail as well. And you never really look at the picture gallery on a DVD, whereas in the book at least you will. Don't get me wrong, David Chu does a very good job of discussing the films and summing them up, but I feel like that I would like that alongside of other stuff. Onto the extras. James Mudge of Eastern Kicks delivers a commentary on each film, charting the explosive popularity of the original, the political undertones of the sequel, and the decline in popularity of the genre with the rise of John Woo-style action films in the 90s. Mudge is a passionate commentator with a wealth of knowledge, but it can be overwhelming with all the actors and films that he is name-checking. There are times when I think I'd really like to check out that film, but I can't be constantly scrolling back to scribble down what I missed. Elsewhere, there's a heartfelt feature-length documentary looking at the all-too-brief life and career of Leslie Cheung. Author Grady Hendrix breaks down the production of each film, and critic David West contributes just to the sequels. There's also archival interviews with composer James Wong. What first appears to be a very similar release to that from Shout last year, Via Vision has delved into the archives for interviews with actors Lau Siu-ming, Wu Ma, series producer Choi Hock, and action choreographers Ching Siu-tung and Yuan Bun. There is also 30 minutes of behind-the-scenes B-roll for the third film. I don't think there's a great deal a reviewer can add to these films without a more detailed knowledge of Chinese history than I have, and to be honest, I would have liked more of that in the extras. But one of the great successes of the films is that it leans so heavily on Chinese mythology without requiring any foreknowledge in the viewer. I can't tell what is genuine mythology, if any, or what is made up for the film, if any. But the world it creates is immersive and immediate in the sense that you can be dropped into the middle of it and just get it. Partly because the emotions are real, but also because while it is mad fun delivered at 100 miles an hour, it's not tongue-in-cheek. The dangers are insane, but serious and real. You will worry about someone being killed by a giant tongue. The first is the best, the most emotionally involving, and of course the most original, but grouped together, they never fail as a ride. You can watch them back to back, I have discovered, and they never pall. Evergreen entertainment. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Any thoughts on this trio? Let us know what you think of them in the comments below.